Welcome back. We start with some breaking news coming in. Terrorists are hurling grenades at a police checkpost in Pakistan's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. We are learning that they've killed at least 2 policemen and have injured 3. The terror attack took place in the Chakeshar area in Shangla district. The terrorists threw the hand grenade and opened fire on the checkpost before fleeing the scene. In a statement, Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi condemned the attack and offered his condolences to the families of the slain officers. Ajay Jandyal, my colleague, joins us at this point in time to give us more details about this. Ajay, if you can hear me. Ajay, what's the latest we know about this terror attack in Pakistan? Obviously, this is a very volatile area in Pakistan. There have been multiple terror attacks in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa in the past as well.
Yes, there is no end to the terror attacks in Pakistan's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa area, and after in a fresh terror attack when a grenade was lobbed on a post over there, 2 policemen have been killed and 2 to 3 are injured, and operations still going on. Basically, if you see that in last few months, what has happened that terrorists, especially the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, they are very actively targeting the Pakistani forces because they are continuously saying that we don't want any, interference of the Pakistani forces and the Pakistani government in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa area. But Pakistan is continuously trying by forcefully, to install a fence over there between Afghanistan and this Khyber Pakhtunkhwa area, and they are opposing it continuously, and that's why we have seen that several attacks took place in the recent past as well. But in a fresh attack, 2 policemen have been killed and 2 to 3 are injured, and now the police, in that area, Pakistani police, they are on the job to ensure that they'll be able to tackle this situation by targeting or neutralizing the TTP, fighters. They are continuously doing the same.
Ajay, appreciate you joining us. All right, on to our conversation now. Prime Minister Modi took to his social media account to deliver a message on Vijay Divas, which invited major criticism from Bangladesh, including those from Mohammad Yunus-led interim government, claiming that the victory of 1971 belonged to Bangladesh and India was nothing more than an ally in the struggle. One of the student leaders of Naya Bangladesh called the message a direct threat to Bangladesh's independence and territorial integrity as well. What does this really mean? Has our relationship with Bangladesh stooped to a level where in fact things are irreparable, or there are still chances that Bangladesh does acknowledge what India has done for it in the past few decades? Well, we'll open up this for debate now. Ambassador Suresh Kumar Goyal, former diplomat, joins us on the show. Major General Rajan Kochar, defense expert, also with us on the program. Major General G.G. Dwivedi, 1971 war veteran, is also joining us. We'll get to hear some truths from him as well. Last but by no means the least, Professor Madhav Nalapat, editorial director of the Sunday Guardian, is also joining us on the broadcast. Professor Nalapat, I'll begin with you. Well, this seems to be a fresh checklist or a fresh initiation of hostilities between India and Bangladesh. If that country is not even willing to recognize what India did, then perhaps the growth story that Bangladesh, gloated about for the past few decades would have not been possible. They would have also ended how Pakistan is today.
Well, the fact is, Vineet, that in effect, Bangladesh is now a colony of Pakistan and thereby China. And naturally, they have to rewrite history, because don't forget, the Indian Army, the Indian Armed Forces, I may say, Army, Navy, Air Force, although the Army played the major role, the fact is that they won a comprehensive victory over the Pakistan Army. And 93,000 prisoners of war were taken and brought to India. And then they came back to their villages, to their towns. You cannot suppress that kind of history. 93,000 people are not going to suddenly say that no, we were not in Bangladesh, or we were not defeated, we were not POWs. Look, it's the fact is they have to rewrite history according to their new masters. And frankly, I don't believe the situation is irretrievable. The fact of the matter is that Pakistan is already a basket case in terms of economics, in terms of security? Well, Bangladesh is getting even worse than Pakistan. At one time, Bangladesh was seen as the leading economy in South Asia in terms of growth, in terms of opportunity. But for the last 5 or 6 years, that's not been the case. But there's been a catastrophic decline after this coup against Sheikh Hasina. And that decline is manifesting itself across the country. You're having youth unemployment, joblessness, and all kinds of atrocities are now taking place, especially on the minority Christian, Buddhist, and Hindu populations. And this is the situation that's happening. Now, Mohammed Yunus, I don't want to talk more about him, whether he's doing this as a result of some kind of blackmail or he's genuinely putting on this kind of a mask, even though he knows it's not true. But the fact is, Vineet, that the history of the Bangladesh war is basically the history of the Indian Army. I, for example, have always been, trying to give credit to the Mukti Bahini, the Bangladesh irregulars, but they were very tiny in number and insignificant. It is the Indian Army, frankly, that won this victory. And I think the Prime Minister is right to stress that. He is only speaking the truth. And if Bangladesh doesn't like to hear the truth, which clearly it does not, well, that's not our problem. It's a problem of this new government. And frankly, it's a horrible problem for the people of Bangladesh who are suffering the ills and ravages caused by this new government. Vineet.
Ambassador Goyal, where do you see this situation? Diplomatically, India tried to do a lot, but considering our position at this point in time, and also the fact that the persecution of the Hindu minorities and other minorities in Bangladesh has not ceased, and fresh provocations keep coming in. Do you think that Bangladesh, if not already, is en route to becoming a colony of Pakistan and eventually of China?
Vineet, thank you very much, first of all. Now, the way I see it, really, the developments in Bangladesh, particularly the overthrow of Sheikh Hasina, who was very close to India, and therefore her overthrow is being seen really as the overthrow of an India-aligned government. And there is a kind of a repercussion on India also as a result of the change in government there. But we need to go beyond that, really. What the new government is now doing is not essentially a colony of Pakistan, but it's a negation of the history of Bangladesh itself, really. There is a negation of what happened in 1971, simply because those who are now in the government, they are the ones who probably did not want separation from Pakistan. And for them, the best history would be really when 1971 never happened. And if 1971 happened because of basically the support from government of India, they forget that 10 million Bangladeshi refugees were hosted in India without any support. They completely forget that Mukti Bahini. We must, of course, say that yes, it was a war of independence by Bangladesh, and Mukti Bahini played an important role in this war of independence. But without the support of the Indian armed forces and without December 1971, would they have won the war? I doubt it very much. Therefore, when they say negate the role of the Indian army, what they're saying is that it is Pakistan who really is their karta dharta and who they would still like to be with. If they can negate Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, I'm told that Yunus did not even refer to Sheikh Mujibur Rahman in the address on the Vijay Divas. And therefore, the whole series of events is really, I see, the present government effort to entirely negate 1971, to get close to Pakistan once again, to basically again be what they were as part of Pakistan. But I think it is only a temporary affair, because fact is that Bangladeshi people It's the Bangladeshi, it's a Bengali civilization. It's a Bengali culture. It is not Islamic culture. Islamic culture is now basically coming as an imposition on the people. Therefore, my expectation and the way I see it is a blip. It's a blip. It is going to be there for some time, but Bangladesh is an important relationship for India, and India is important for Bangladesh. I'm quite certain that as time goes by, we are going to get onto the groove again. We need to be patient and at the same time let Bangladesh know that without support from India, Bangladesh would never be Bangladesh.
General Dwivedi, are you shocked at these comments that India was just an ally and had nothing to do with the freedom that Bangladesh enjoys today and challenges that very freedom and uses it against us?
Well, Vineet, I think I would say not only shocked, but deeply pained, because we shed blood. And my battalion itself, we lost 21 brave hearts and we had about 60 wounded, because I fought the war as a young second lieutenant with 2 days service. The point is that what Prime Minister has stated is a stark reality. We have been diplomatically nice to Bangladesh by overplaying the role of Mukti Bahini and other liberation forces. But let me also categorically state the role of Mukti Bahini was very, very marginal. In fact, the 16 days that we fought the war, I only saw 2 Mukti Bahini guides in the first 2 days. And thereafter, we never saw where was Mukti Bahini all about. So therefore, I think we have ourselves overplayed the role of Mukti Bahini just to give some kind of respectability to Bangladesh Liberation War. But that is where it is basically was a diplomacy, not the military reality. Now, 2-3 things are very, very important. First and foremost, it was categorically the victory of Indian Armed Forces against the Pakistan Army and victory of India against Pakistan. That is the first reality. And this victory was convincing, because in the history of warfare, never have 93,000 soldiers surrendered. And they fought the fighting army. They are not the ragtag army, they were a very professional army. And the whole map of South Asia was changed. A new country was created in matter of a fortnight. So therefore, I think in the annals of military history, this will stand out as the greatest victory by Indian Army, by India against Pakistan. Now coming to what is the current ground reality. The issue is that even when in 71, there were certain forces which were anti-liberation, especially what they called, Bangladesh people, they called Bihari Muslims. They were the ones who were basically Razakars as fighting along with the Pakistan army. And the other way, they used to call Punjabis, basically referring to Pakistan army. Now today, it is those elements in the BNP, in the Jamaati, who are against liberation war, who are calling the shots. And they have a compulsion, because ousting of Sheikh Sina was primarily on 2 basic premises. First and foremost, to change the reality of Bangladesh liberation and the role played by Sheikh Mujib and the other prominent leaders. And secondly, to cozy back to Pakistan, to play the tunes of China. And who is the person who at the helm of it? It is not Muhammad Yunus. He is just a proxy mouthpiece. It's the chief of the army staff of Bangladesh army. He is the real man behind it, Waqar Zaman. He is the person who is doing all this just with the front face of this interim government. Now, what I wish to state is that this type of thing will not sell for a long time, because reality cannot be suppressed. Because today Bangladesh we are seeing as a kind of a contest between the religion and the culture. And I can tell you, Bangladesh culture, Bengali culture will ultimately overpower these forces which are trying to impose the Islamic tenets on the people. And as far as India is concerned, I think we need to do 2 very important things. Firstly, give a very stern message. And I think Prime Minister Modi's, message on Vijay Diwas is a very clear message that we will now talk and play a different tune. So therefore, it's time Bangladesh gets the message clearly and comes to the terms. Should they not do, then there is of course the alternates which I'll not try to state, but they will come into play. And secondly, if Bangladesh try to cozy up to Pakistan and China and try to hurt India's interest, I think India must become very categorically. We should play it down and tell Bangladesh that there is a red line, and red line needs to be drawn, both in diplomacy and in military warfare. Red lines are very important, and this message must be communicated. And my last point is that reality was India won the war convincingly. Role of Mukti Bahini was very peripheral, very marginal. It was our diplomatic nicety that we played it up, but I think that game should end by now. Vineet.
All right, General Kocher, are you also pained at seeing this disposition by the Bangladeshis? I mean, this resentment is not only from the polity at this point in time, sir, but it's also on ground.
Vineet, I think I'll try to understand this issue in a different perspective. The first perspective is that it is now 53 years since the liberation of Bangladesh has happened. And most of the younger generation which is there in Bangladesh were not part of this process. So they would not understand the sacrifice and the kind of treatment which was meted out to the Bengalis of Bangladesh by the Pakistan army. And here I want to highlight Operation Searchlight. Operation Searchlight was one operation by the Pakistan army which started on 25th of March and it ended on 10th of April 1971. Close to 30 lakhs, 3 lakhs Bengalis were murdered, women were raped. Dhaka University, the Pakistan army went inside Dhaka University, killed the professors, killed the students. All Bengali officers who were there in the Pakistan army were also killed. You cannot rewrite history. It is documented, it is there in the history of Bangladesh, and this entire generation which is talking about this Hate India campaign, unfortunately has actually forgotten the history of their own country. So that is why I'm actually pained at that, because a country which owes a lot to India for its independence is trying to play a political game now. And of course, at the behest of these forces, ISI and the Jamaat-e-Islami, I would like to bring in the role of Jamaat-e-Islami here. Because if you look at the formation of the Muhammad Yunus government, if you look at the people who are giving statements on the Prime Minister's speech, they are all part of this Jamaat-e-Islami. And they are part of this governance or a coterie of people who are there and controlling Muhammad Yunus. He is being remote controlled by this Jamaat-e-Islami, who is taking their orders from their handlers in Pakistan. And it is absolutely clear, because the kind of Hate India campaign which is going on, you have a look at the social media and the Twitter accounts of all those handles which are operating from Bangladesh. There is a lot of Hate India sentiments in these messages. So what should be the role of India now? I think one important role India will have to go in for is strategic communication. This is one area I personally feel we are not that good. We have to develop a strategy for strategic communication. Pakistan is very good at it. And we have not actually formalized it. Look at how many YouTubers are there from Pakistan. You can't actually count them, hundreds of them. And what kind of perception warfare are there raging against India? This is happening in Bangladesh today because when I talk to some of my friends in the Bangladesh army, who I had actually trained in our courses of instruction, they are come here to get trained by the Indian Army. They are also of the same opinion that a perception warfare is going on in Bangladesh against India, and who are being targeted, the youth are being targeted because their legacy is not that old that they will understand the sacrifices of their forefathers in getting them freedom of what Bangladesh enjoys today. And my last point is Bangladesh is being short-sighted. Why I'm saying short-sighted? Today you have so many Indian industries which are supporting the economy of Bangladesh, and I will name a few: Adani Power, Marico, Dabur, Asian Paints, Pidilite, Tata Motors, and Hero Motorcorp. These are some of the companies are private sector which are contributing to the growth of economy of Bangladesh. And if a situation arises where Bangladesh decides to disturb the relations with India, India will not be a loser. It will be Bangladesh in the long run. So that's why I'm saying they are being short-sighted. Their water requirements, their power requirements are all India-centric. And in case they don't understand it now, they are going to repent it at a later stage, Vinny.
All right, okay. Let's take concluding thoughts, no more than 30 seconds from all our panelists, starting with Professor Nalapat.
Vinny, the fact of the matter is that we have to be ready for any eventuality. The reality is that Bangladesh is at risk of being a terror hub. My research team tells me that agents of the ISI, of GHQ Rawalpindi, as well as a large number of individuals engaged in irregular warfare from China. And it's not just in Bangladesh. You look at India, look at the United States. There are so many algo warriors, what we call algo warriors, and they try and ensure that very nasty, false comments come about people and come about countries and come about religions and religious groups. And these are active all across, I can tell you, including in India and the United States, the largest democracies. So they're teeming, the country is now teeming with these people. But the fact is, ultimately, these people are headed down. Whether it's Pakistan, whether it's China, the economy is headed only down. And it's going to get more down as the time proceeds. So frankly, I am not pessimistic that the situation will reverse. But don't forget, Vinny, over the decades, hundreds of thousands of these very Biharis settled in Bangladesh migrated to India. And they haven't left their hatred behind. They haven't left their aversion to other religious groups behind. They have carried that hatred with them. They have carried that fanaticism with them. And they have been posing a security threat. If you recall, when this coup took place in Myanmar, I had warned that please be careful of uncontrolled migration, because a lot of these so-called migrants will actually be heavily influenced by the Chinese. Because 1/3 of the India-Myanmar border is actually the India-China border, because China has control. And that's what happened. You saw the violence that took place in Manipur. So I am, quite frankly, we need to keep a very sharp eye for the influence of these elements, not just in Bangladesh, but also in India. But they want to upset the India growth story, and they want to reduce India to the chaos in which Pakistan is today and Bangladesh is heading towards. Vinny.
Absolutely. Ambassador Goel, quickly, sir, 10 seconds. We've completely run out of time.
Vineet, all I would want to say really is that Bangladesh requires very careful handling by India. Bangladesh is an important neighboring state, and we know the competing interests of China in destabilizing our neighborhood. So either we play into Chinese hands here, or we handle it in terms of our own national interest, strategic calculations. Therefore, careful handling, but I'm sure that eventually Bangladesh will be with India.
Jal Dwivedi?
Well, Vineet, I see a new development here. That is the trilateral which is building up between China, Pakistan and Bangladesh. This trilateral is also very deeply driven by the armies, because in all the three countries, armies have a major role to play. So what we are seeing is a grey zone warfare, which is actually being played out right now. And I feel the situation is going to worsen before it becomes better. And therefore, we have to have a strategy in place as to how to confront this trilateral, because it has very serious security implications for us, both on the northern and the northeastern border and at the region as such. I think here we'll have to play very smart diplomacy as well as a strong arm that we have to deter before this trilateral becomes a menace.
All right, sir. General Kocher.
I just would like to just sum up is that March, I think the elections are going to take place. We may find some change, because I foresee that United States may play an important role as far as Bangladesh is concerned, and we can see some signals emanating from the US, and the spokesperson of the US have also made a statement yesterday. And with the Trump coming in, I think it would actually make a difference. But as far as this government is concerned, I don't think we can make much headway with this government.
All right. Appreciate everyone joined us and gave their insightful perspective. We have some breaking news coming in now. Shiv Sena UBT Chief Uddhav Thackeray has met Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis at Vidhan Bhavan office in Nagpur, is what we are learning. Daryl, my colleague, joins us on the broadcast to tell us what this meeting was all about. Daryl, what was actually discussed in this particular meeting? Was it a courtesy call by the former Chief Minister?
Absolutely, Vinay. If you see, Shiv Sena UBT Chief Uddhav Thackeray met the newly elected Chief Minister of Maharashtra Devendra Fadnavis at Nagpur, where the winter assembly session is going on. This meeting took place today in the afternoon, where Shiv Sena UBT Chief Uddhav Thackeray, along with his party leaders, met Devendra Fadnavis at his party office in Nagpur, and after which Shiv Sena UBT leader and MLA and ex-minister of Maharashtra Aditya Thackeray said that today our party chief Uddhav Thackeray met Devendra Fadnavis and the Maharashtra Assembly Speaker Rahul Narwekar. This is a step forward. While working for the Maharashtra government, both the ruling party and the opposition should show political maturity to work together for the country and the state's benefit. Vinit.
Right. Well, in a political war of words between Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP, Aam Aadmi Party MP Sanjay Singh's remarks have been expunged. BJP has lashed out at Aam Aadmi Party Sanjay Singh. JP Nadda has stated that BJP has won the mandate with landslide victory in Maharashtra and Haryana and does not topple government. Let's cut across.
इसको संविधान के नजरिए से देखने की आवश्यकता है और आज हम संविधान पर चर्चा कर रहे हैं. इसको राजनीतिक रंग देने की जरूरत नहीं है. दूसरी बात आपने कही, सरकारें गिरा दी. अरे भाई, मध्य प्रदेश में हम 5वीं बार चुन करके आ गए. उत्तर प्रदेश में हम दूसरी बार लगातार आ गए. आपने महाराष्ट्र के बारे में कहा कि खरीद फरोख्त हुई. महाराष्ट्र ने लैंडस्लाइड विक्ट्री भारतीय जनता पार्टी को दी. अरुणाचल प्रदेश में राउत साहब लैंडस्लाइड. आप तो उस दिन बोल रहे थे कि मैं तो विश्वास ही नहीं कर पा रहा हूं. लैंडस्लाइड. और अरुणाचल प्रदेश में लगातार तीसरी बार आ गए हम. गोवा में लगातार हम तीसरी बार आ गए. हम हैट्रिक बना रहे हैं और जनता के आशीर्वाद से आ रहे हैं. और वह समय दूर नहीं जब दिल्ली में भी भी आएंगे। लेकिन मैं संजय जी से ये जरूर कहना चाहता हूं कि भावनाएं कभी भी सीमा को क्रॉस नहीं करना चाहिए, और इस सदन के डिबेट को जहां जहां आपने उसका स्तर नीचा किया है, उपसभापति जी आप जरा रिकॉर्ड देख करके उनको एक्सपंज करने की कृपा करेंगे, इतना ही मैं
देखा जाएगा।